Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Starstruck, where we review episodes of Stargirl. This is episode 5. My name is Cleve.
I'm Michael.
This is Stephanie.
And I want to start by saying that I enjoyed the episode that I watched.
It's a spoiler, dude.
My apologies.
Do you still have complaints about it, though? 'Cause,
I have so many. I have a list.
Of course you do, man.
But a keynote that I want to point out is I wrote down, "Oh, Beth," several times because Beth is my favorite. She's my new fave.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
I was on the Yolanda train, but Beth for sure.
I'm just frustrated because, again, here's Beth coming to be the nice, friendly Beth that she is. And even in the first episode, the only person that allowed Courtney to sit with him was like, yeah, you should sit with me. I want to be your friend. And here we are. Beth finally, works her way into having a superpower or a super item in Dr. Midnight's goggles. And we decide to treat her like shit and basically like, you're not really a superhero. Go away.
Yeah. We didn't choose you, so you don't count. Like, hey, screw you guys. I enjoyed the conversation between her and Dr. Charles something. I can't remember.
Chuck.
Well, yes, she ends up calling him Chuck. But
I enjoy that she calls him Chuck.
Because that's so her. She's the only person that seems like she's from a small town. Just what you imagine the epitome of a small town friendly person would be is Beth, who's like one of 6 black people I've seen in this town.
The rest are all villains.
And her parents, which are villains. So yeah.
Yeah. You know that family has some dark secrets that are going to come out because she's the most normal person ever.
Right.
They probably are the leaders of this whole thing.
That's what's going to be worse is she's going to be crushed by something, and we're going to have to deal with her being smacked into reality of, well, I know I'm not popular and I don't have friends. And I'm like, no, Beth, stay pure. That's all I want.
You can tell she's very looks at the bright side of everything. And then Courtney comes in and she's like, you don't get to wear those. I don't even know who you are. And then she's like,
I really hated that scene when she said, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
It really bothered me.
Well,
yeah, you can see that it hurt Beth too, who has never been hurt by anything anyone has said the entire show.
Right. To be fair, she did just kind of go into her room. I will defend Courtney on that one aspect, that some random person just came into my room. If I were to walk in and anybody be in my room that I did not know about, it would be alarming.
You know what would have solved that? Had she listened to Pat and not touched that shit.
Fair point. And she gets the goggles from the dog, who she called the demon dog, and I'm like, you have no idea what a dog can do, because my dog fucking drives me nuts. But she takes the goggles from the dog. I'm like, you're in someone else's house. You're taking these goggles from this dog. This dog could have ripped you a new one, and you would have had no idea about it. But I guess because you're so friendly, you said, oh, well.
Also, why didn't Courtney shut her door or make sure all of the items were in her bag?
Right.
And why is she carrying them everywhere? Also,
she's such a terrible liar. Beth calls her out and is like, I know that you and Yolanda are superheroes. You're Stargirl. And Courtney's like, no. Like, bro, if that's all it takes to crack you, we're in some trouble.
Right. You could have said, who's Stargirl? I don't know what you're talking about.
We've already learned that she's not going to be a good superhero, man.
Right. She has the nerve to say secret identities are important. That's superhero 101. You called Yolanda out. That's why Beth knows who you are. The nerve of you to be like, duh, don't you know that?
Yeah.
And Beth still looks up to her too, because Beth mentioned costumes or superhero 101 or something.
Yeah, she quoted it back, which is poor Beth. She's stuck with those people.
Oh, Beth. I believe, I don't know if you noticed, but when they were walking down the halls trying to recruit different people or trying to figure out who they wanted to recruit, Yolanda and Courtney at one point suggested Artemis Croc, who is a character on the Young Justice League.
Oh, that's right. The Archer?
Yep, but she's a little aggressive in this scene. So
I like it. Because the guy didn't know what to do. And that is a fair reaction to anybody tackling you in the hallway. But then for her to be like, I got you. And you're like, yeah, you scooped me off my feet. And not in a romantic way.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think they only made it a Halloween episode so that they can put that Easter egg in there?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Just so that she can dress up as an archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super odd that this is a Halloween episode because we're in June, the middle of June.
Hey, look, CW does what CW wants.
That is true. That has always been a fact.
Maybe. Cleve and I have been watching a lot of Westworld lately. Maybe their timeline messing with us now.
Oh man, I'm so tired of that.
There's gonna be some wicked timeline jump coming up that we're not expecting.
So we've not mentioned yet. We meet Rex Taylor and we meet Rick Taylor, Rex's son, who Rex is Our Man. Michael, would you like to break down what Our Man's abilities are?
Some people like to call him Mr. Hour.
That's
Nobody
fancy.
except for me when I can't remember his name. Yeah, no, it's literally the worst power. I don't know worst power, but it's a pretty rough power. He can flip over an hourglass and becomes extremely strong for that hour. By the way, there's no limiter on how his strength is, so we don't know if he's like Luke Cage strong or is he the Incredible Hulk strong? Like, what are we talking here?
Yeah. I wondered, can I pause it? Is it once it starts, I'm locked in for an hour and then I have to wait 23 hours? Or can I knock out a quick 15er and then turn it back off? And then
Well, that would make that power less inconvenient and dumb.
right. But I also have to wear that necklace like Flavor Flav. So
I want to point out that episode had the longest hour possible, by the way. Because it had to take quite some time for him to walk from where he was when he punched the truck, which already he had turned over the clock. Turned the clock over from a party, went to the truck, punched the truck, then walked all the way to his house and was able to punch that tree. Like, I would have loved for him to try to punch the tree and
oh man,
and it just broke his hand.
that would have been great. So we meet him when he's a child. His mom asks her brother, which is his uncle, hey, can you watch this kid for me? I've left you $50K, the deed to the house, all that good stuff. And he's like, I don't want to deal with this kid. And all I could think is like, this is your actual family member. This is not a random child that is your neighbor. This is like a blood relative.
Nephew. Yeah.
And then, of course, his parents are like, stay here. We're going to this place. We'll be back for you. And as we all know, parents that do that in comic books die.
They do.
Mm-hmm. Parents don't live very long after that.
The only thing that could have made it worse was if she was wearing a pearl necklace.
But it was about the hand of Solomon Grundy. Does that make you feel better?
I do enjoy whenever we get a chance to have Solomon Grundy.
We got a good Grundy sighting.
I feel like there's not going to be a good episode with them until the season finale.
When they have to, because you have to assume that's why Our Man exists, is so that we can take on Solomon Grundy, because otherwise, how would you?
Yeah, they're just going to drag it out to the very end.
So then his uncle, who we've already established very early as being a terrible person, sells a car part that Rick uses because Rick likes to fix cars. Backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, my parents left you $50K. That should have lasted you quite some time. I don't understand how you ran out of it so fast.
Right. Being the small town, you own a house and a truck.
Right.
I feel like that's got to last you a while.
He had a really good party, is what that means.
Yeah. And he's got to have a job, right? So he's making money while he just happens to have $50,000.
Maybe he quit and was like, I got this house, it's paid for.
Maybe.
He just does Uber Eats and keeps the house for extra side money.
To have Uber Eats in that tiny town.
I can only imagine. Rick gets mad at the tree that killed his parents, but I'm pretty sure the tree didn't move at all. The tree's always been there.
Mm-hmm. I almost wonder why Rex's why the uncle didn't tell him what happened.
Do you think the uncle didn't seem to know shit.
That's true.
Like, even when they were like, okay, bye, he was like, what's happened? Wait, no, I don't want to do this, because he's such a fantastic fan favorite character.
Yeah, he showed up to watch him for one night.
Basically, he got stuck for 10 years. 9 years is what the flashback said.
That's why he's justified in selling the carburetor.
Uncle's a real dick. Faux show.
I feel like
then took the second carburetor, and I promise you he's going to have sold that as well.
Oh, well, he's going to need to get a new car, because Rick decides to donkey punch the shit out of his truck. And then they take it to Pat. Here you go.
Drop it off at his front door. We heard you could fix cars.
I think one of my more adorable moments was Beth at the party. You didn't even get a lot of it, but when she's like, "So this is what a party is, all right." Kind of loud in here.
Kind of loud.
Beth is great. Beth is my favorite.
I think Steph's our very own Beth. She could be.
She could be if she really
tried hard
wanted it,
enough.
but she won't.
I don't talk people's ears off about ant farms while there is a child stabbing a pumpkin.
Hey, you know what? He was passionate about something. You don't get that a lot out of him. Let him have Halloween.
He's just the worst.
That's what I'm saying. He's usually a dick about everything. He was decorating the house and getting into the spirit. Let it be.
I feel like that's the only holiday he'll do that with.
Oh, for sure. So Courtney picked up that gizmo mask and went to go put it on from the guy who threw up, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'll just be mysteriously at the party that I wasn't invited to. I will not put on the throw up mask. He didn't throw up in it, but close enough.
Throw definitely got on it.
That's fair. So I couldn't put my finger on it, on where I recognize this girl from. Do you feel like you've seen her somewhere? Have you looked up her IMDb?
Who?
Stargirl, Courtney.
No.
So Cleve, I know you're a fan of this show. So
Gilmore Girls.
Real quick. She plays the waitress. It's the love interest in the Goldbergs.
I've never seen that show.
That is his name Adam?
Yes. Adam Goldberg.
His grandpa.
Adam F. Goldberg, because there's another Adam Goldberg.
That's right. Adam Goldberg and his grandpa are at a diner, and he gets a crush on this girl, and then she shows up at his school.
Adam F. Goldberg.
The other thing I couldn't get out of my head, by the way, is I was like, she sounds like somebody. And I sat there and listened to her for a long time, and I don't know if this ruins things for you, but I promise you, she sounds exactly like Frankie Muniz. If you close your eyes, she's basically Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle.
I can see that.
When she talks, it's so annoying.
She keeps sounding familiar to me.
Whenever she talks, I'm like, all I hear is Frankie Muniz now, and I hate life.
Yeah, she kept sounding familiar to me, but I could not at all place it. Now I'm looking up in what she's in, what I would see.
So then at the party, we also are reintroduced to the big villain, which is that one chick. I don't know her actual name, but she's the devil incarnate.
Cindy
is the devil.
I don't understand. So yeah, it looked menacing when she put the bee necklace on, only because there is no correlation between bees and vampires. So then I was like, maybe Cleveland Stephanie onto something. I assumed she was a red herring, but maybe she's a villain.
It stands for bitch. She's a terrible person.
Queen bee. I went and looked it up, and apparently Cindy Berman, who that character is, apparently is a villain in the DC universe called the Shiv, and she looks quite menacing as well.
Maybe it's for her last name. Now that you say the whole thing.
B for Berman.
I might be wrong. I don't know yet.
No, I like the queen bitch kind of thing. Yeah, I can feel that.
But you know what? Also, so she makes her friend change costumes because her friend wanted to match her. And then Henry, who don't get me wrong, I'm not like super feeling bad for this guy. But he's like, oh, my head hurts. She's like, what's your problem? He's like, well, my dad's in the hospital. And she's like, well, go there then. And she's like, what are you being so sensitive? Like, you're
kind of fair.
You're mean.
Like, don't come to the party, man.
He's trying to drink his sorrows and want to be with you. Well, there's so much of it in there.
And to be fair,
Beth pointed out,
he's coming into his powers, which is why his head hurt.
Right.
He just said it was loud.
He was having a bad time, and he wanted to be with his girlfriend. So I want everything to be explained out of Beth now. We give Rick the Hour Man necklace, and she explains how it works, which is just to turn it. And then
she's very matter of fact.
I like that he was like, I'm not joining the team, and he takes off. And then Yolanda's like, well, way to go, Courtney. You gave one of the biggest delinquents unstoppable. Like, yeah, for an hour, though.
Right. And I thought that because at one point he's like, I'm not joining you. And Stargirl's like, well, then I need that necklace back. He's like, you're not going to take it from me. And I'm sitting there going, just wait 60 minutes.
Yeah, 55 minutes. I'm going to kick your ass.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you. It's not going to go well. I got this magic staff that'll put you in a coma.
Also, if it only works with his DNA, there's no point in taking it back. It's useless to you.
Yeah, but I don't need him having it. Because he was like, I'll join you, but for revenge. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. No problem. Hey, can I go ahead and get that necklace back real quick? I just want to see something.
He said that. He goes, I'm not joining you for whatever.
Justice.
And I literally looked at like my other computer and rolled my eyes like I was talking to somebody, and I said the line before he said it. I'm doing it for revenge.
Jennifer also said it. And then, okay, fine, he joins because Sylvan Grundy killed his parents, and
Why does that change it, by the way? He could still not join and then just find Solomon Grundy on his own. Back bitch.
Maybe just because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and they'll find him faster.
Yeah.
And then you leave with Pat finding the Green Lantern.
Now he knows what Courtney was up to.
The actual lantern, yeah. So I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was all right. Any little tidbits or thoughts that you have, Michael?
No, I feel like I still continue to like it. I am getting more on your guys' train of not liking Courtney, though.
Yeah.
I was willing to accept her bitchy charm up to a certain point, and now I'm kind of getting annoyed with it.
She did give an average speech to try to bring him in. It didn't work, but it was above average. Stephanie, thoughts, feelings?
I still don't like Courtney. That creepy janitor is probably someone from the Justice Society. Injustice Society, whatever. I don't know. It's getting good. I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah. Michael, do you know who the villain is that looks like Bobby Hill when he went to Louisiana?
Man, it's a good description of him. No, I don't. I can't. I'll have to do some more searching as to who he is, because even the fiddler. After we talked about last week's episode, I looked it up and found the fiddler. And I even said something along the lines of, but he's a white Irish guy. This doesn't make sense. And so Pat even made a joke about that too.
Yep, we fixed that problem.
So he could very well be a different adaptation of someone, but I haven't quite figured that one out yet, no.
Yeah, the only other note that I have on that one is that he gives the guy candy, and you never take a candy from a creepy little man like that.
So. The guy was already an ass. You don't accept candy.
I just don't understand why they also only bit a tiny piece off. Anytime I've ever eaten a chocolate coin, you eat the whole thing.
One big gulp.
Yeah, they're not that big. They're bite-sized chocolates.
I did do some research, and fingers crossed, because Pat had the lantern. I'm hoping we get Kelly Quintela, who is like a young African-American Green Lantern.
That could be fun.
That would, I mean, although Green Lantern to me completely would overpower all the other people that we have, except for maybe
an inexperienced one, maybe though.
Except for maybe Hour Man, but just for the first hour.
Maybe inexperience and lack of will make her more evened out.
Maybe. Let us know what you thought about the show in the comments down below. Tell us your thoughts. We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitter. They're all Friendship Supreme, except Twitter has no eyes, no word friendship. All eyes should be on the podcast on YouTube. You just search Friendship Supreme. We also have our Patreon, patreon.com/Friendship Supreme. Let us know your thoughts. I've been Michael.
I'm Cleve.
I'm still Stephanie.
You're always Stephanie.
And always, always, always look into the death of your parents, because typically they didn't just blow a tire from a faulty tire that was not created for your car. Bye.